Should you provide daycare for your grandchildren in your home or in their home? Should you provide daycare for your grandchildren in your home or in their home? Well, the issue has its pros and cons. I've done both. I now provide daycare in my home, but I was going at one time to one daughter's home and then at another time to another daughter's home, and a few times even to my daughter-in-law's home. So I've done both, and the first issue I would say that you have to think about is transportation. Do you have reliable transportation? Do you have a good car that's going to get you there safely? Are you comfortable making the drive? Can you afford the gas? Now, another thing you want to think about is the age of the child. When they're infants, sometimes it's easier to go to the child's home because infants need so much baby equipment and baby toys and, the same environment, the comfortable environment, the same noises and things like that. So think about, the age of the child. Now, if you can bring the child to your home, think about the equipment you'll need. That is listed on grandchildcare.com. There's a list of equipment according to the baby's age. And of course you can make do. I'm sure you may do with less for your children because we didn't have so much baby equipment. But there's a lot of it that's really handy. I know for myself, the one piece of baby equipment that I insist on having in my house, and it's in my kitchen for years and years, is a good quality high chair. And I actually found one that's a good quality. The one that I have now is 10 years old. I paid $20, which included shipping, from IKEA. It's easy to wash. It's nice and has a nice broad base. Easy, to get the baby in and out, and safe to strap them in. So I would say is an important, very important piece. So consider the child's age. Can you afford some baby equipment? Do you have the space for an infant? If it's not an infant, then that's really not a big deal because you can have some toys in your home. And as the child gets bigger, they have different toys and things, which is not really an issue. But that's one thing you do want to consider, though. How old is the baby? How old is the child? So another thing you want to consider is meals. If you're going to the child's home, usually the parent would provide the meals there. Maybe you don't like what they have in their fridge. And I know when I would go to the last daughter's house, I would go there. I was about a year. And I would pack my lunch every day. And it turned into a little snack for the kids in my lunch, which they would always like to see. It turned into, sometimes I would pack everybody, because I would have something like I like to make like a Mediterranean hummus meal. And I would take everybody some of that, and I'd make it in the morning nice and fresh. So just nice little things you can do even when you do go to their home. But if you're going to have them in your home, now you can provide the meals, or maybe the parents will pitch in for groceries, or maybe they'll just bring some things for the kids, especially if it's a baby. It's going to need baby food. So think about the meals. Who's providing the meals? And, if you're going to be there, are you packing? If they're coming to your house, will you provide breakfast and lunch? So meals is a question to consider. Now, another thing that you might consider, depending on how much energy you have. I know when I was going to my daughter's house, and then 10 years ago, I would go 30 minutes, I would drive to my other daughter's house. It was just easier in one way, in that my house pretty much stayed clean. So that was a little easier. Now they're in my house, so every day when they leave, I have to clean up. And so how much energy do you have to do that cleaning up? Or can you just get in your car and leave their house, and the parents have the cleanup, basically? Not that you don't pick up during the day, but when they're at your house, they're going to make a mess. And you're concentrating on being with the children, so you're not really concentrating on cleaning so much. So every day I have that cleaning to do. So think about, that's an issue. And another thing I just wanted to mention is, I talk to a lot of grandparents who provide daycare for their grandchildren. And sometimes I have heard from grandparents that they're not comfortable going to their child's house for whatever reason. People have different types of relationships, maybe with their son-in-law or daughter-in-law, or maybe in their living situation or arrangements. I know one was afraid of the dog. So think about, are you comfortable going to their house? Because you do need to feel comfortable. And also you want to think about how comfortable are you with the kids in your house. I mean, I'm not real finicky about my furniture and my house in general. The whole thing needs to be updated terribly. I'm waiting. I need a new sofa desperately. My husband definitely needs a new lazy boy. It's horrible. Carpet, I'm waiting because I know that there's a lot of wear and tear on your furniture, your carpet, your walls. There's things that happen with children. They're going to be rougher on things than adults. So are you okay with that? Are you okay with the wear and tear onto your home and your furniture and things like that? I am, because it's worth it to me. But if you're not, think about that, that situation. Another thing you want to think about is in your home environment, is it going to be a home where basically it's you and the children, or are there people coming in and out all the time? Do you have others that live with you that have friends coming in and out? And in that case, you might want to think about watching them at at their home. Because when it comes to children, you just don't want a lot of people coming in and out. What access do you have to your home? Do you live on the 5th floor of an apartment building? Things like that you want to consider. Are they just going to be more comfortable in their own home? Or maybe they live on the 5th floor of a bar, I don't know. But think about, those kinds of situations. Is it just a better idea overall to care for them in one place? And lastly, I would say, if you're, married or have a partner, how do they feel about it? Are they okay with the grandkids in the home every day? Maybe they come home from work and they're tired and they just want to sit and relax, but there's a couple kids, jumping on them. Some people aren't, and you have to consider their feelings. Maybe they're not so okay with that activity. Maybe they just don't have the energy. And so you got to think about that. Maybe you want to be at the child's home to give your partner some time to relax when they get home, or maybe they're home all day and they have stuff they want to get done. So consider their feelings, is what I'm saying. But in any case, whether you care for your grandchildren in your home or in their home, it's something that really contributes to their well-being. And as I always say, give yourself a pat in the back, because you are really gifting to your grandchildren and their parents, your children. It's a very good thing that you're doing, and you should feel very good about it. As always, please, I ask you to like, subscribe, comment. Please let me know in the comments if you have any tips, if you have any stories that you'd like to share. Sometimes it's supportive just to hear others' stories. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day.